The following brands have in one way or another contributed to this video. In this video, everything you wanted to know about Keyztone Exchanger. What is this thing? What does it do and what it's worth? What's inside of the box? What are the features? The weight and size? We'll open the unit and take a look inside. Check whether it has a true bypass. Find out how much power it needs. Listen to what it sounds like. Try it with a buffer in front of it. Test the Footswitch and figure out what happens with the noise. And it's all coming up right now. Hello everyone, here is Max, and in this video we're gonna be looking at the Exchanger, the pickup enhancer pedal from Keyztone. So what is this thing exactly? The website says it remodels your pickups by turning them into others, like if you have a humbucker you can make it sound like a single coil and vice versa. It can also enhance them, like if you're unhappy with your guitar's pickups, the Exchanger can probably make them sound better. So generally it doesn't matter what kind of pickups you have, the Exchanger can make them sound like one of the following models. Hot Texas, which probably stands for Fender Texas Special Single Coil. Bright Vintage, another single coil with a lower output. P90 and humbuckers, Rockability, Modern Power, Classic 50th, Wide Range, and one more model called Super Clean. 8 different models altogether. The Exchanger is made in France and truly is a boutique pedal. At the moment, the Exchanger is only available directly from the manufacturer at Keyztone.com and Reverb.com store. At the official website it is listed for €189, but that doesn't include VAT. Here it is in US dollars and UK pounds. It also says that the power supply is not included, the pedal can work with a battery and only needs 15 mA. We're gonna check that later on. If you prefer buying on Reverb, here you'll find the price with VAT included, which is $226.80. And as soon as the Exchanger comes to stores, I'll give you a link to Thomann in the description to this video. Alright, so it comes in a box like this. Exchanger, the pickup enhancer, designed and built in France. Okay, let's open it. Thanks for setting me free. Very cute. Freedom, finally. The pedal, we'll take a look at it a little later. It comes with rubber feet and a short manual in French and English. It actually says it is an analog pedal, and until now I was convinced it was a digital one. It also says something about the STD switch, but it happens to be a treble boost. Still, let's put on the rubber right away. The first thing I see, it really is a beautiful pedal. It's like a piece of art, but at the same time it is simple and feels very solid. Okay, let's take a closer look. Here on the top we've got the high frequency compensation. The higher it gets, the brighter the sound will be. This is the treble boost switch. The overall output level, to match the volume of your existing pickups, it's supposed to be somewhere in this range. This button simply scrolls through 8 models. And this one turns the effect on or off. As you can see, the pedal requires 9 volts center-negative power supply, which is a standard for guitar pedals. Optionally, it can work with a battery, and there's a low battery LED right here on the front panel. Input jack on the right, output jack on the left, nothing on the front, a power connector on the back, and it says made in France, very nice. Nothing on the bottom. As always, let's check the weight of the pedal. 330 gram, 0.7 pounds, or 11.6 ounces. And this would be the size of the pedal. We can also compare it to some other pedals. Here's the metal zone, for example. And this would be a regular standard size pedal. Or the Cab M. Something like that. It is just a little bit wider than the standard pedal. Okay, let's open the pedal and take a look inside. I'm very curious about what we're gonna find. Well, obviously this is not a standard enclosure like Hammond or something, and pretty much every element of this pedal seems to be custom made. It looks fairly simple inside, and yes, it can run on a battery. And here is something that probably happened to me for the first time. I unscrewed all the nuts just to find out that I cannot go any further. because the PCB is soldered to that black front panel, which I assume is glued to the enclosure. so I cannot really take it off without destroying the pedal. Or maybe I'm just missing something. On the PCB I can see some SMD components and a couple of op amps. No huge DSPs or anything, so this is an analog pedal. Anyway, the pedal had a 2-year warranty, which is now void. That is what we do on this channel, right? What I'm saying is, don't try this at home, it will probably not kill you, but the pedal may not like it. And you will not see any more than you've just seen in this video. Okay, let's check if the pedal actually has a true bypass. For that, I will measure the resistance between the input and the output, and if it is 0 or close to 0, just like this, then we can assume that the pedal has a true bypass. Yeah, that's pretty much 0, so it is a true bypass pedal. Now let's check how much current it needs. Remember, the website mentioned 15 milliamps. I'm gonna turn on the power and engage the pedal. 14.5 milliamps. Okay, what if I play some guitar? $14.5, so we can say 15 milliamps just as the website mentioned. And because digital pedals usually need 10 times as much power, it once again proves that this is a fully analog pedal. Alright, let's go through all the knobs, switches and controls. And let's begin with setting up the pedal for a certain pickup. I will be using this Ibanez RG1070 PBZ, and thanks to Ibanez Germany for sending me this guitar. It has 2 humbuckers and a single coil in the middle. Let's begin with the neck pickup. And first of all, because it is a humbucker, I will set this switch into the bright boost position. Now, to find the right position for the level knob, I will pick the classic 50th model and try to match the volume level. That's too much, so I have to turn it down. That sounds about right. For a humbucker, I'm supposed to set the frequency compensation to something between 5 and 8, and I assume this is not the darkest humbucker, so I will set it to 7 for now. Alright, let's check what it sounds like. Now there is a very little difference, but let's go to the Hot Texas model. Let's give it a little bit of crunch. Well, it definitely sounds like a single coil to me. Let's try some other models. Let's go to the bridge pickup and check what that one will sound like. This one indeed adds some power and sustain. Okay, let's do the same thing with a single coil pickup. I will switch to the middle position and turn off the bright burst. I will be using Hot Texas model to match the volume, and the brightness is supposed to be set to something between 1 and 4. Let's set it to 1 for now. That sounds about right. Okay, let's check if this thing can make a single coil sound like a humbucker. Well, it definitely is thicker than before. And this is the P90 model. Let's go to the next one. This one is really, really dark. Let's try it with a little bit more drive. it suddenly gets that sustain and thickness and body to the sound. Okay, now let's check if the Exchanger will be able to improve the sound of really cheap pickups in any way. I have this Harley Benton Tele DIY kit guitar, which is one of the cheapest guitars you can get today. It comes with 2 stock single coils, which sound okay for the price, but nothing fancy. Let's see if the Exchanger will be able to do anything about that. First, I will set the volume. I'm on the neck pickup right now, and it isn't very bright. Now with the Exchanger, with these settings, now I want it a little bit brighter. Let's see if we can do anything about that. Let's say maybe like this. Not bad. Let's go to the bridge. It is much brighter now. Let's go to the middle position and try both pickups. How about some crunch? It's really bright now. And finally, let's go for some fatter settings, maybe something like this. That really is a huge difference. Now here I have this Maxwell Texas guitar which I've built myself, and you could already see it in a couple of my videos. The problem is that it has these Seymour Duncan P rails in the neck position, which is a P90 and a single coil in one, and I'm not particularly happy with how this single coil sounds. So let's find out if the Exchanger will be able to make me feel any happier. Well, the level is already set. That goes into the right direction. Oh yeah, now it really has that glassy tone I was looking for. I definitely do feel happier now. Exchanger works best when it is directly connected to a guitar and a pickup becomes a part of the Exchanger's circuit, while it also works with buffers and active pickups and wireless systems in between, but because there is no direct connection between the exchanger and the pickup, the result may be different. Here I have Ibanez Tube Screamer, which, as you may know, has no true bypass but an active bypass. In other words, it works as a buffer when the pedal is turned off like this. It is connected to the loop B of the true selector, which is a true bypass loop selector pedal. When loop A is selected, the signal simply goes through, so the exchanger has a direct connection to the guitar. And if you want to know more about these fancy patch cables with probably the tiniest plugs in the world, they are from Lex Cables. I'll give you a link in the description below. Now we can A/B test these two scenarios and find out what the difference is. I'm using the neck pickup and the exchanger is off right now. There isn't much of a difference yet. Let's turn on the exchanger. The sound suddenly becomes brighter than I wanted it to be, and that is because of the buffer inside of this pedal. That was a humbucker with Hot Texas model activated on the exchanger. Now let's go to a single coil and pick the classic 50th model. As you could just hear, even in this scenario, there is a difference. To test the Footswitch, I have an overdrive and a delay set this way. Such as you can clearly hear delay repeats. Now I can turn the exchanger on and off. And you can hear and even see that there is some kind of pop going on, even with the volume on the guitar turned all the way down. So unfortunately, this is not the quietest Footswitch. To answer the question whether Keyztone Exchanger adds any noise, I'll be using a Tube Screamer and everything is set to maximum, such as, we can hear everything better. I'll be using a single coil on my guitar. And here's what it sounds like with the Tube Screamer turned off. So now let's turn it on and see what happens. What it does, it actually changes the character of the noise, and that will heavily depend on the settings I'm using on the pedal. It is even quieter now than it was before. Now let's try some different models. Now if I switch to a humbucker, it's gonna get really quiet. Well, of course I can make it noisier if I want to, but that will also boost the signal a lot. So to answer the question, yeah, it may add some noise if you turn everything up like crazy, but at normal settings, it's not dramatic at all. There is one more thing I have to tell you about this pedal. Even though it was developed as a pickup enhancer, you do not necessarily need to limit its usage to improve that one pickup, for example. If you think a little bit wider, you will find more ways to use this pedal. For example, this level knob has quite a lot of headroom, so you can always add some more gain and use the exchanger as a boost pedal, or with some appropriate settings as a treble booster, or generally as a boost with very flexible tone controls. Or even forget for a minute about all these different models and simply dial in some random settings that will change the sound of your guitar. And if it has, let's say, a 5-way switch, which means 5 different pickup settings, for each of those, the Exchanger will give you one more on top. So you will get twice as much, 10 different tone settings out of your guitar. How cool is that? So just be creative and you will have a lot of fun with this pedal. Okay, it's time for a recap, but first of all, if you're still watching, please leave a smart as chameleon in the comments. So we have an analog pedal which somehow changes the sound of guitar pickups. It is slightly bigger than an average pedal, but it has 2 Footswitches, so that's fine. It has a true bypass, it works with a battery or a power supply. And this is the first time ever that I don't have the pros and cons list for you. And that is because I don't have much to say. It is a very unique, one-of-a-kind pedal. There is nothing I can really compare it to. Therefore, no expectations. It does what it is supposed to, and that's it. While it would be great to have a possibility to scroll through the models into both directions, but that would mean one more foot switch and a bigger size, so it is good as it is. Oh, the foot switch pop could be improved, but other than that, I didn't find any problems. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button right there, and don't forget about the bell button to get notifications every time I'm posting a new video. A special thanks goes to people in the list below. Those are my patrons. If you want to say thanks, hit the button on the left and join the list. Well, that's it for now. Have a good day and I'll see you soon.